Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, next question I've got here is from David E. from the School Anabolic Bodybuilding Members Community. Do you have a general recommendation for daily magnesium and potassium intake while using GH? This is mainly in relation to water retention, swelling, and hand numbness that I get from using GH. I keep overall sodium low and mostly use light salt. Okay, so we got a few things to unpack here. We're going to talk about magnesium first. Magnesium is going to help with nerve conduction. So if you're getting hand numbness, a lot of times that's just pressure. It's from the water retention that has. But magnesium can secondarily help with nerve conduction. It also has an effect on water retention and cell membrane integrity. Cell membrane integrity is improved. It keeps the water where it belongs and doesn't allow leakage from the cell. Magnesium has a secondary effect on lowering aldosterone. It's not as strong as potassium does, but it does lower aldosterone and increase sodium water excretion as well, but not to the same degree that we're going to get with potassium. Potassium is going to have a more potent effect on that. Magnesium also has a natural-like effect, like a calcium channel blocker, say like amlodipine does, where it's going to increase vascular dilation and thus increase the ability for circulation to be improved and lower the risk of water leaking from the vascular system into the intracellular area. Also, having deficient magnesium is going to impair the sodium-potassium pump, which is important for proper water balance in the body. As far as doses go, I would start with magnesium glycinate. Start off probably around 200 milligrams and increase to 400 to 600 before bed. The general rule of thumb is vitamins in the morning, minerals at night. I heard that one from Broderick Chavez. He has some good information on that, but I would start there first and see how it goes. Magnesium can also make you shit your pants, so you do have to be careful with that. I do like magnesium glycinate. It seems to be gentler on the stomach, but start off low, work your doses up. Probably 600, 400 to 600 would be an optimal dose. 200 is probably a good place to start. See how it goes, and then work your doses up. Now, moving on to potassium and sodium, we'll talk about those next. Obviously, we established that the potassium sodium pump is important for water fluid balance in the body. Potassium pulls water into the cell. Sodium pulls water out of the cell, and wherever water goes, or wherever salt goes, water is going to follow. So salt and water are sodium excretion is going to pull water out of the body. Sodium retention is going to retain water in the body. That's all regulated through the kidneys with aldosterone. The androgens that we take and potentially growth hormone, other things are going to increase sodium retention by stimulation of the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. So we have that to contend with as well. We can use things such as ARBs and stuff that can manage that. But long story short, potassium, most guys are eating way too much salt, not enough potassium. Potassium is, I would say, 90% of the people that I see is deficient. People are not getting enough potassium. Potassium is going to lower aldosterone, increase vasodilation, and increase sodium excretion, causing your body to expel that water. When we have it out of balance, we have sodium retention, and then you're going to have all this intracellular water retention fluid where we don't want it. You'll see it, guys. We get the fucking puffy ankles and all that other shit that goes on when you are taking too much salt and not enough potassium. The light salt that you mentioned has a perfect balance. Well, I shouldn't say perfect, but it is the recommended balance of sodium and potassium. I believe that it's 3 parts potassium, 2 parts sodium, if I recall correctly. Now, potassium seems to be a bit more static as far as dosing that we need. We know that potassium excretion isn't the same as sodium. A lot of times sodium, if you're Drink more water. If you sweat more, you're going to need more sodium. So sodium is a bit more transient. If you're sedentary like me and you sit on your ass all day long and do nothing, you probably don't need as much salt as some people. Some of it's genetics. Some dudes are very, very sensitive to sodium. I happen to be one of those. I can't push my sodium too high or end up just a fucking water bag. Other guys can run higher doses of sodium. So sodium's transient. If you're a guy that is, a construction worker, say, or somebody who does a manual labor job and you're sweating a lot, you're out in the sun, you are going to need more sodium. You're going to need to increase your sodium intake. Now, as far as potassium doses, I'd say probably around 3,500 milligrams a day is where we're targeting, maybe more depending on the person. You also have to factor in if you're using an ARB. ARBs increase potassium retention, so that's another thing to consider, that you're going to have more potassium retention with an ARB. If you have a diet that, say you're eating a bunch of fucking potatoes and bananas, high potassium foods like that, you also have to be careful with your potassium intake. We don't want potassium too high, and then we end up with electrolyte imbalances. Ask anybody who's done a bodybuilding show and used a potassium-sparing diuretic, and they've end up hyponatremic afterwards, where they have low sodium and high potassium. It's not a pleasant experience. It can actually fucking kill you, cause your heart to seize up. I believe in lethal injections, they use high-dose potassium for that to make the heart stop pumping. So we definitely don't want that. And paradoxically, there are some dudes that think, well, maybe I just shouldn't eat sodium at all since it causes water retention. I see this a lot with dudes at the end of contest prep. They end up dumping all their fucking salt. And then paradoxically, what ends up happening is that you have more water retention because your sodium has gotten so low. If you're hyponatremic, low sodium, water, you can't excrete water if you don't have sodium in your body, and then it just ends up all being this squishy intracellular water. You see it on guys at the peak weight, guys that overdo fucking diuretics at the end, using potassium sparing diuretics, and they cut all their sodium out. These dumbass old school bodybuilding coaches that cut all the sodium out at the end, and then they wonder why, when they use a diuretic, why their guys end up looking even softer. It's because they flushed all the sodium out. What sodium is required to pull the water out of the body is salt. Remember, water follows salt. Wherever salt goes, water follows. And when you lower aldosterone, when you all these other factors that are going to increase sodium excretion from the kidneys, if there's no salt to excrete, your body is not going to pull all that water from out of the areas that it's not supposed to be. The sodium-potassium pump in the cell doesn't work correctly. You end up with electrolyte imbalances, and guys, fucking seize up on stage. You see dudes all the time, they get the heebie-jeebie shakes on stage, and it's because they have an electrolyte imbalance, most likely high potassium and low sodium. So that's but stupid too. So we need a balance of both, but sodium is a bit more nuanced. You just have to play around with your sodium doses and see what's appropriate for you. I know for me, I need to run a little less salt. I usually run somewhere, I'd say around 2 to 3 grams of salt a day. I think is where I need to be, and about 4 grams, 3 to 4 grams of potassium is where I need to be. But you may need 3 times as much. I mean, I've seen dudes that need 10, 12 grams of salt, depending on how much they're sweating, depending on how their sodium retention is, all these other things. I think it really is just dependent upon your unique physiology, your activity level, all these other things. But I would say as you get deeper into prep, cutting sodium is really fucking stupid. So long answer short, with the GH and potassium, sodium, magnesium, I would start. The light salt's a good place to start. You may need to add additional sodium to your meals on top of the light salt. Be careful if you're using an ARB. Magnesium, start off low with the magnesium, work your way up, make sure you don't shit your pants, and then go from there, and then monitor the water retention. It should start to improve. And also, other things that factor into it too, like your diet shit, your estrogen's too high. There's other things that can affect water retention as well. So just some other areas that you need to monitor. But long story short, that's it.